Yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back at it once again. Once again, here we are, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. The market gives us. And ready for the good old. The market shenanigans again. Yes, they are. They're here once again. And we're just taking what the market gives us, my friends. Where is this going to stop? Where are we going with this? I don't know. If I had a crystal ball, if I knew what was going to happen, I'd happily say, and without a doubt, that I would probably be sitting right next to Jerome Powell somewhere, hanging out, talking about the next $1 billion we are going to make, and telling him that I want him to come and work for me. Yes, sir. Are we red or are we green? Are we making money or are we losing money? Yeah. Wing Commander, I see you. I see you, Wing. And some of our stocks are getting hit by the Mario shell. Boom! Yeah. The market shenanigans back at it, my friends. Back at it. Good morning or afternoon. It is I, the Credit Savage, once again going live. I did tell you guys that I was going to not go early in the morning, but I was actually expecting to be at the hospital for a lot longer. And it just so happens someone messed up with the schedule. My son and my wife and I were there to have his little thing removed. Then they told us that they can't do that there because they need to give him anesthesia, general anesthesia, and it was a whole thing because I specifically made sure that they knew that he had to get that removed. I talked to the administrative assistant. Turns out the doctor hasn't been there that long, and so he's still kind of working out the kinks. And somebody messed up with the scheduling. We're here. My son is still gonna go back, and it's just like it's a whole thing. But anyways, you know what? The market never disappoints, though. I know that whatever happens, I can always fall back between 9:30 a.m. Eastern until 4 p.m. Eastern, and the stock market is there to console me, to keep me company, and is the one constant in my life because everything else is changing so quickly. It thinks, always there's always a shit show somewhere, right? But it's just like I'd rather be at this shit show making money. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. I hope that you guys are making money today. And in short, hey, let's keep making it. Let's see what the market is giving us. We're not trying to outthink the market. We're not trying to outmaneuver any specific, outfit out there. We're just making money. We're just keeping to our own, making money. And we're seeing what the GME is giving us. GME is popping today. OPENDOOR, it seems like it's taking a little hit. And of course, it's Friday, option expiration day. You just got to look at the volume, the open interest, and look at where the trades are. And based on that, you can get a good idea on kind of how the stock is going to go. My $6 cash secure puts and $7 cash secure puts are lovely because, the time is decreasing really quickly. And those are getting eaten away. BBAI today. BBAI is in the move to the downside. I think I had sold 10 covered calls, 8 $10 strikes, 10 $10 strikes expiring, I think, November or December. And I got like $1.50 for those. I just bought them back today for 70 cents on some stinkers. And they triggered. So over 50% in 3 days. Not waiting till December. I took money off the table because guess what, my friends? Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up. The market may be here today, but we don't know if it's going to be there tomorrow or Monday for that matter. So taking money off the table never hurts anyone. I sold 5 cash secure puts, $7 strikes for $6 strikes for BBAI. And December, I brought in a buck per each, the $500. So I'm taking money off of the table via covered calls. And today, cash secure puts, my friends, because that's what we do. On red days, when the stock goes down 5% or more, if it's a stock that we know it's going to recover, we know how it moves, and we go, a strike below where it's at right now, we're securing ourselves later on so that we can buy it at a lot cheaper than it is today and get paid for it. What is wrong with that, my friends? Wing Commander is in the house. Moneymaker Juan is in the house. Bobby Atkinson, boom! How you doing, sir? I am the booming indeed. Hello, C. Savage is saying Kent's mom, number one fan in the house. Bobby is saying live, baby. Bobby, HRU, I guess they're saying, how are you? Bobby, I'm guessing, is making money, Mando. Mando number 5, not to be confused with Mambo number 5, is in the house saying, hi, all. SJ Tavera saying, que lo que primo, what you doing? Says J saying, LOL, K Savage. Kent's mom saying, Senor. Beach Boy saying, what's up, Mando? Bobby Atkins is saying, going good. Just hitting the thumbs up, heading out to job number 2, untaxed cash job, baby. Larry Titus is in the house. Beach Boy saying Larry, and everybody's happy to see Larry because he's making an appearance, and it's good to see you, Larry, for sure. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are making money. I want to hear trades. Give me some trades, guy. I'm very curious to see how you guys moved this morning. I just told you a couple of mine. Actually, I took a lot of the premium from those BBAI cash secure puts and covered calls, and I went to a BMNR and I did 4751 stinkers, and they triggered. So I bought at market price, and it's starting to recover a little bit. Listen, I'm into BMNR, guys, and you know what? If I shit the bed, you guys are here to witness it, and it's all good. There is no shame in my game. This is how I can be transparent as possible. You guys are knowing that I'm into BMNR via cash secure puts for $55 strikes and $50 strikes. These they're expiring in November. I brought in $14 for the $50 ones, and I brought in like up to I think $13 for the 55 ones. So I'm just sitting there. I mean, if not, I'm going to keep the money because the premium cash that I already got from selling those cash secure puts, I took in and I bought the stock where it was at. So I just keep buying BMNR at this point. I'm kind of attached to Ethereum. I think it's going to, when it pops, it's going to pop. And if it witnesses, and you're going to be like watching me eat crow, and that's all good, because, hey, whenever I say, guys, this is the way that things are done, this is the way I do them, you can see it. You can see my trades. You could follow them. And if I make money, if I lose money, and I'm just glad that I'm able to give you a nice perspective on how I see things and different stocks that I'm into. And you guys make money because if you guys follow those trades, you guys can go a lot more conservative than me, or a lot more cavalier than I, and make money. At the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what I'm here for. That's what this channel is for. I want to hear people making money. I know somebody made $10,000 last week. I know Kent's mom keeps bringing $1,000 here, $1,000 there. I know Beach Boy's making money. I know Bobby's making a lot of money. Bobby makes $10,000, $20,000 transactions. Man number 5 is making money. F Gum is in the house. What is up, my dude? He's saying I'm just holding. QUBT hits 23.4 today. Look, I bought back my cash secure puts, and I'm good on that. I'm gonna wait for QUBT to come down some more. When it comes to 2019, and I think it will, it's got some room to the downside. Fills some gaps, and I think I'm gonna go with some $20 cash secure puts to January and try to bring in $4 or $5. There's nothing wrong with that. The man is saying, what's your prediction for GME end of the year? End of the year, GME If I knew that, I would be next to Roaring Kitty, fucking, and I would be literally next to Ryan Cohen too. But I'm not, and I don't. But this is the thing. This is the personal prediction. I'm just talking shit. Obviously, you're saying prediction. This is my own take on it. Of course, I understand. Over $30 a share. I think that those warrants. Nobody's selling anything. There is no paper for sale. There's discrepancies everywhere. I think these warrants have put the shorts on notice. The shorts know they have to cover. The shorts know that they are pretty much done. There's not much paper for sale, right? And so they're trying to hold it synthetically down. I guess they're trying to on days that it supposed to be going upwards. They're trying to press it down and keep it below 30 because they know that's kind of like if they let it get to 32, right? Then those warrants are in the money, and once it goes to 32, it's so bets are off. So they're trying to keep it like in the $25 to $30 level. 25 to 28 is really like what you got to see the channel, right? But I'm not a terrible thought, not a terrible idea. GME will probably be close to $30, $32 a share, if not more. I am really excited, and I'm very curious to see what happens the closer we get to October the 3rd, because they were able to create synthetic shares. They can't create synthetic warrants. There will be a buttload of trouble. I mean, we're talking about serious investigation after investigation. People are going to go to prison. It's going to get ugly. And I think that what they're going to do is they're going to try to maybe going to exercise a lot of calls. This is why I'm not selling covered calls right now, because I think that, let's say you sell 10 covered calls, right? Now, say you sell some $30 covered calls. And you get $2-3 for them. Fair enough. Now, let's say that the stock runs to $29, $29.50, something like that, like October the 1st, right? Well, they can exercise at any point. Once you sell that call, you basically give whoever on the other end the right to exercise that call. I think they're going to do that. They're going to exercise a lot of calls. They're going to get a lot of premium. I mean, they're going to get a lot of shares that way, so that they can come in and get the warrants. And then once they get the warrants, right, they're going to probably sell again. And so it's just not good either way. I'm thinking what's going to happen is a lot of calls are going to get exercised. $29, $30, $31, $32 strikes. The closer we get to October the 3rd. So, and that's what I'm curious to see, and like how they're going to go about that. And are they going to then sell covered calls to the back end to mitigate that loss? They can, but then that's going to do is that's going to create more open interest in the future, right? So like that's just going to pump up the price. Never been here before, right? I've never seen this, so like I'm very curious to see what happens. That's why I'm kind of keeping away from selling covered calls on GME at this point, But if like we go to $32, $33, $34 before December, I would sell some fucking $40 covered calls, out to like April or something, and you just bring in a lot of premium, and then I may do even monthlies. I may not even go 2-3 months out, just because the monthlies are probably going to generate in the long run, right? If you do like more often, you're going to get a better percentage. So, I'm probably going to do monthlies and then stay ahead of the stock. I see share by next year, especially if closer to October we get, right? But again, it's just speculation, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very curious to see what happens. Misty saying, ahoy, lucky number 5. Yeah, I'm sitting on April $25 calls. I'm down 50% on the option right now, but my cost base is like 8 on GME shares. So hoping to not get them assigned. But if they do, I'll take the money and be happy. I mean, that's the thing, right? So the man, that's the thing. Um, this is why you're the one that chooses the strikes, and you're the one that chooses the expiration date, because once you given that premium, right? You have to be at peace if the stock gets called away at any point. Like, that's basically why I personally sell covered calls, only on stock that I would make money on. Like, I don't really sell calls on stock that I bought for $20, and I won't sell $15 if that makes any sense. Like, if I buy a stock at 10, I will sell 12, 13, $14 covered calls because I'm making money. Like, I won't sell a covered call on, like, for example, let's say I bought NVDA at like 170, right? And NVIDIA gets to 140. I'm not going to sell 150s. That just makes no sense. Although I do understand the meaning behind always be writing. Yeah, always be writing, but that just goes to you always staying, active, right? Writing cash secure puts and covered calls, but it doesn't necessarily mean, write on stock that you're like way underwater in. That's not how I do it. I know there's people that probably do that because it's just, they always trying to stay ahead of the stocks in some way, shape, or form. They kick the can down the road. They're okay paying a debit, to go up in strike price. I don't do that. I hate debits. I only take credits whenever I roll, if I roll, you know. So yeah, no, you got to be okay with losing the stock. That's why you choose that strike price, right? So the stock, for whatever reasons, that person that bought the call has a right to exercise at any time. They can exercise if they bought, a 2027 contract, and they exercise it tomorrow. That's within their right. I don't know why they would. They'd be losing money, but it's within their right. Hoping April is far enough away where they leave me alone. Yeah, no. So it's you'll be fine, I think, unless again they make it. The closer you get to 30, I think the more willing they will be to exercise that, because I mean you're underwater, right? So like if you're already losing money, so they could just exercise. They could take away the shares, and this is why I bought back my GME contracts, the day of earnings, because I just knew shenanigans were gonna be at play. I didn't know we were gonna obviously, get warrants, right? But I just knew there's always shenanigans, right? And so that's why I was like, you know what, I'm good. I took a little profit. I'm okay with that, and then I watched the stock go down. But then I read what the warrants meant. It's pretty much, you're basically getting 10% of the stock. That's basically what you're getting. You're getting a return of 10% for owning the stock, for being a shareholder. They're giving you 10%. That's awesome. So so I was like, I could have went to 27 a couple of days ago, and I just didn't, because I'm very curious to see, and this is to my detriment, right? I very well could be wrong, and the stock goes to $20. Anything can happen, right? And somebody that's obviously always writing, and it just keeps to the model no matter what. That's great of a mindset. I guess the detective in me, right? And the person that's read the contracts and read, all these filings, it's very curious to see what happens the closer to October 3rd we get. I personally think we're going to keep going up. And I think people are going to get exercised, 24, 25, 26, 27, even $30 strikes, 32, 33. They may lose money, but they're going to get the shares. And that's where I think it's going to happen. Yep, I always stay above my cost basis. Number one rule. CKT saying, let's do this. CKT followed me in the BBAI covered calls, and he bought them back as well today. And I think he may have done some cash secure puts too. So CKT following it, making money. I love it. Good on you, brother. I'm kicking the can down the road on AMC. I will do for a little while longer. AMC doesn't interest me, man. It's just not. There's nothing there. I could be wrong. but just it's not my thing. Susan Shop saying number 8, Trip Hazard. What's up with ASSC? ASSC is doing what we thought we was going to be. That's why we got those ridiculous premiums, right? My prediction on AAST be closer to 150. I think that they're just methodically pushing the stock down so that all those $5 cash secured puts could just die out the money, right? Or no, I'm sorry, die in the money, but closest to like the break even. And then I think it's probably going to go down a little more, which I'm going to buy some at like a 125. We got to 125, 120. I'm going to buy more shares, kind of average down in a way, because I see it then like springboarding up to like $2-3, and then I want to sell for a profit, obviously. And again, another stock that I'm very curious to see how it behaves, right? And I'm okay with that. But ASSC is doing what was expected. I mean, that's exactly why the premiums were so ridiculous, because they were saying, look, we're gonna here's a $5 cash secure put, you're gonna get 340, 350 in premium to sell this cash secure put. Your break even is 150, 155, 160, right? So look for the stock price to kind of linger around that area on October 17th or 19th, one of those. So I think 17th. The men say my new rule number 2 is don't trade through options unless I'm writing long contracts like 6+ months out. Otherwise, it's 30 or 45 day to expiry. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, that's kind of where my my mindset is, because the premiums are still juicy, but and then it gives the stock time to do stuff, but not enough to where it does nothing. So like if there's a move of, let's say, for example, the stock falls 20% on a day, it's been known to happen, right? Then those options, the covered calls will go down by like 40%, 45, 50%. So I go in, buy back the covered calls. If the stock pops like 15, 20% on a day, then, you sell covered calls. And it's just the volume in the IV is just that much juicier when you do 30 to 45 outs. So that's kind of where I like to stay at those, because I mean 2-3 weeks go by really fast. In 2-3 weeks, instead of, you never really wait till they to expiry anyways. You sell a 45-day contract, you'll make 50% of it in the first week sometimes, if the stock goes kind of not against you, but like towards what you're thinking it's going to do, right? Based on the charts, right? But again, nobody knows what the stock's going to do. We take what the market gives us. The man saying, take that. Then I take that money and then write 4 more BAI cash secure puts. I love BBI. BBI is great stock to ride on right now. It's kind of like Riot, right? RIOT. Riot's great. Mara, MARA, great stock to ride on. RXRX is a great stock to ride on via cash secure puts, right? And then it's just so volatile, and the premiums are good. Another good contract to ride on is AAOi, another stock to ride on. It's ridiculous premiums. QBT, QBTS, BMNR. If the wallet lets you, BMNR has some incredibly ridiculous premiums right now. But again, this is not financial advice, right? This is just information that I'm giving you guys based on the trades that I'm making. And so, you know what? Something bothered me, guys. Yesterday I was live, and I got a little alert saying that my internet was weak, and I lost signal, and then like I saw that the live was still going, and I saw people writing here, and like I guess I looked at the video later on, and it only went for 3 minutes, and then I went back on, and I saw there was like over 25 of y'all here, and I can't see that video, so I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't know if it's my internet